Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fit Chicks Chat. My name is Amanda Quinn.
And my name's Laura Jackson.
And on today's podcast, of course, we are talking about not even talking about, we're actually celebrating because this is our 500th episode of Fit Chicks Chat. So bananas. I still remember the day that we sat down and we decided to do Fit Chicks Chat, and we were like, should we really do a podcast? Who's going to listen to us?
Well,
Who
and
wants
also
to hear us talk about all these things? And I'm like, that's crazy.
I almost want to go back and re-record so many of them too, because the sound is so bad. And I mean, we were working with what you have access to back then. But it's like you look at podcasting now from when we started, and it's like some people have their own studios, they have their own like full-on shows and production team and all of this stuff. And it's just crazy how big podcasting has gotten and how many things that we've talked about over the last 500 episodes and how many things that we are still talking about, which I love though. We're still talking about the same things, but in different ways. You know what I mean? Like
True.
What we stand for, what we represent, what we offer, the advice that we give, it just changes as the world evolves and stuff like that, but it's still the same core stuff, which I think is really cool.
I agree. And I think I always think back to the different interviews that we've done and the different people that we've been able to meet through using this podcast, and just so many incredible stories and so much incredible information too. The research that we put into learning about some of these things, like some of it is like knowledge that we have, but then other things we're like, we're curious about. We're like, oh, what is that? This is a new current trend. I want to learn about it. I want to go do the workout. I want to go do the thing. So it's a really cool, this like amalgamation of like us bringing people in, us learning about new tools, us sharing the knowledge that we have, and just growing with our podcast and keeping it really authentically us. And I've loved
Totally.
it.
And I was just actually even saying this to Jess, our programs manager. We were talking about, the idea of feeling like an imposter, like if you don't quote unquote know enough. And I was saying, I have just committed to the belief that I'm an eternal student. I will never know enough. I will never be at a destination. So for me, that's why I treat this podcast too, right? Like every guest who comes on, every student we talk to, every person, because you can learn so much from the most random moments and the most random people. Like it doesn't have to be, necessarily, like obviously we offer certifications, and if you want to dive deeper into getting certified, that's one thing. But there are in my life, some of the biggest aha moments I've had about whether it be health or wellness or mindset or my life, that are just from one sentence that someone said that I may have heard before, but then I heard them say it in a specific way. And I'm like, holy crap, that just blew my mind and changed my life, like in some way.
Everything. I totally agree with that. And so what I wanted to share with you guys today is not only like our own journey, and like we'll talk about sort of our personal, maybe favorite episodes over the past little while, but we also went back and we dug into all of our analytics and data, and we were like, what were the most popular over the past, so from 400 to 500. So we're looking at the past 100. Of course, like I said, we have 500 episodes. If you want to binge listen to all Fit Chicks Chat, you can go back to episode 1 and begin there, which we would love. And of course, if you love it, leave us a review. Shameless plug.
Yeah, I'd also love to hear their thoughts about like what that is.
Yeah. But I think, when I went back and I was like, okay, looking at episode 400 to 500, this past 100 episodes that we have, the different information that we have shared, all the things that we have covered, that's essentially over the past 2 years. Longer, but like essentially around that.
Oh no, sorry. I thought you meant in total, like all.
No.
In a year.
Yeah.
And like we've had our podcast for lots of years.
Yeah. So just under 2 years, but looking at that, saying, okay, what were the most common ones? Was there a theme? What are you really interested in hearing us talk about on Fit Chicks Chat? And so the most common episodes and the most popular episodes actually were the ones that were taken out and I wrote them down because I didn't want to forget the numbers, but it was episode 459, which is that calories count, but they're not everything to do with weight loss. So that one was definitely one of them. Episode 464, and I'm sharing these with you all too, so that if you want to go back and listen to these really popular ones, like people were just like really diving in on these. Of course, we want you to listen to all, but 464 was the 7 ways to increase your veggie intake, which when I saw that, I was so happy to see that that was one of the most popular ones, because I was like, yes, we all need to increase our veggie intake. Like, veggies are amazing, and it can be tricky. So I feel like that episode is really helpful. Episode 477, the biggest fitness truths that we learned by becoming a certified coach. So that one was a big one too, which I love. And then episode 489, so very recent one, which was the 3 shifts to make holistic weight loss easier. And so when I look at those, and I was looking at the numbers and the data, I was like, it really feel like our listeners love hearing about nutrition tips, health tips. I mean, definitely like the fitness side is still in there, but it's like fitness and coaching and that kind of side, but it's definitely like nutrition. And like, correct us if we're wrong, but like, that's what the data is kind of sharing with us, which we're really excited about, because I know, Laura, that's your jam, is like, you were like, if I could talk about nutrition all day, every day, mindset and nutrition, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I love it. Well, the thing that really stood out to me too, when I heard those specific episodes was, and it just confirms to me what I believe in, what we do in the academy and how our teachings are so much different, is that I think a lot of people are still struggling to figure out how to do things. Even though we are in a world with information overload, right? We have so much information at our fingertips. Like even the episode, like 7 ways to increase your veggie intake. Like those are 7 practical, simple habits to use for yourself, or if you're a coach with your clients. And that's where, there's a lot of people who just still don't know what even to do when it comes to their nutrition, their mindset, their fitness, their habits. They have no idea, like, even if they understand the concept of, yes, I need to eat more vegetables, it's like, how do I actually then take that from a concept and bring it onto my plate? How do I bring that into my household? How do I bring that into my day-to-day life? And that is the thing that I feel that we've really committed to, is that, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much you know if you don't do anything with it. Like, it doesn't matter how much information you know inside. If you could know how to make $1 million, but if you don't go out there and actually do something, you'll never make $1 million. Like, you'll never have $1. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with your health. Like, you can know all this stuff, but if you don't actually put any of it into practice, you don't get the benefits of it. So I think that that's one thing that has really kind of stood out to me about these specific episodes. It's like, okay, I'm looking for the why, but I'm also looking for the how, which is one thing. And again, if we have helped you in that way, we'd love for you to share a review or, your thoughts about that, because it's really a major goal of everything that we do, is making sure you're leaving with actionable items. I cannot stand doing any type, like listening to something, if I don't have anything to leave with. If it's just like, oh, that was interesting,
Right.
it's gone. I'm like, okay, well, that's amazing, but now how do I do it in my life? So
Right.
that's something that's always been a goal, especially of mine, for anything to do with nutrition, fitness, mindset.
And the academy, I mean, even the way that we teach in the academy, it's, we'll teach you the theory, the science, the information, and then the applicable part, how to apply this in real life scenarios with clients, because that really is what it's about. So even when you think back, if you want to go back and listen to any of these episodes and you're like, oh, I'm going to listen to the 3 shifts to make holistic weight loss easier, it's not just us talking in concept. It's like, okay, so this is one of the shifts, and then this is how you would implement this in a real life. Or the 7 ways to increase your veggies is not just like, these are, in concept. It's really like, okay, so if you're making breakfast, you're going to do this with your smoothies, you're going to add some squash in, or whatever it is. But you're going to have like real details and real specifics on how to actually utilize this in everyday scenarios and how to modify it to make it fit for you, which I think is really exciting.
Well, and I think it's both as well for coaches and clients. Like, I think so many coaches out there are craving simplicity. How can I make it simpler to be a coach? And how can I make it simpler for my clients to actually do the things that I'm coaching them on? Like, we've talked about this so many times over the years, but the idea of those one size fits all coaches that just have this, reprintable nutrition program that they just give to everybody. And it's like, okay,
No go.
yeah, again, it might work. You might be able to follow it for 7 days, but if it's not created for you and your specific needs and your body and your lifestyle, what will happen is after 7 days, willpower is going to start to get really weak, and you're going to be like, forget it. This is way too hard. It's easier for me to stay where I am and be uncomfortable with my health or my weight or whatever it is, versus continuing on this path, which then just makes someone feel really terrible. You just feel like you're a failure and you can't stick to the program when really the program is not for you. So I think there's just this space where like we're craving knowledge, but we're craving how do we actually make it applicable to our lives? How do we help coach our clients? How do we do it simply? You know, I'm a big believer in simplicity. I think making things simple is harder than making things hard. And
I
easy
think
is
so.
different than simple.
Yeah.
Easy is different than simple, guys. Simple is just like, okay, like honest to God, when we came up with the complete in 3 rule, we've been talking about the complete in 3 rule for the last 14 years.
Yeah.
Before before any of this, like, you know, paleo was hot, keto was hot, blood sugar balancing was hot, all of these things, right? And it was just such a simple concept to have a complete meal. You need 3 things, complete in 3, protein, fiber, fat. Protein, fiber, fat. Like it's so simple to understand.
And it's
Now,
so simple to use.
so simple to understand, so simple to use. And then on the back end of that, there is this big, amazing other thing that's happening when you actually implement that of blood sugar management, which we teach in both of our programs. We dive in more from a weight loss perspective in the holistic nutrition weight loss certification. But it's just so fascinating because, again, for us to do something, we want the benefits of all of this big complicated stuff, but we don't like to take that into our day to day. It's way too much. So to me, I'm like, okay, if I can just teach someone, hey, to build complete in 3 meals, you have to have protein, fiber, and fat on your plate. And this is really going to help you increase your energy, balance your blood sugar, balance hormones, and deal with cravings, and also help with weight loss if that's something you're looking for. And
Yeah.
someone's like, oh, I could do that. And then we start to build on those things, right? Like as a coach, that just feels so good. And I don't know, I feel like that's one thing. And guys, let us know if you're wrong, but I feel like, let us know if I'm wrong. If you want more actionable how-tos, you want more how to do XYZ, because we definitely have a lot of how-tos. We have a
Yeah,
lot.
definitely comment below, leave us a review. Let us know what it is that you want to hear over the next 500 episodes. Because we're not stopping, you know, this is one
No.
of our favorite things to do is to do our podcast, to be able to share knowledge freely, to make it accessible, to make it so that it is actually providing real content that, like Laura said, is applicable, that you can use in everyday life for your own life or for your client's life as a coach. And it's information that that is valuable, right? We try to make it as valuable as possible so that it's actually going to make a difference. You implement this, it will change it. If you're trying to become a coach, we have a ton of material on, you know, the different pieces on how to become a coach, how to get over the mindset of becoming a coach, the blocks, the actual physical aspect of like what certifications to do, things like that. Like we cover it from all different angles, every topic. So, and you know, the podcast is dedicated to fitness, nutrition, wellness tips, and coaching, right? This is what we're dedicated to. And so everything that we're providing to you, especially as we continue to move forward, we want to make sure that it is stuff that you really just want to take in, you want to learn, and you want to grow from. And we just love it. And I'm so grateful that we have this channel. And I'm so
Yeah.
grateful that at day one, when we were like, who's going to even listen to us? I'm happy that we continued down that path, even though the first few weeks was like, we have 2 listeners, we have 3, now we have thousands globally. And we're just like, that's so cool. Right. And it's really exciting for us to know that y'all are enjoying every episode, that you're downloading the episodes, that you're sharing the episodes. So please just continue to share with us and let us know how we can continue to support you on your journey.
And there's also for us, this has been a real privilege, but also has allowed us to offer a free resource for people who cannot afford to come into, whether it be our paid certifications, any of our paid programs, because we understand not everyone has the same resources and not everyone has the same privilege, but everyone should have access to information that they can apply to their lives that can change their health. And for us, this has been such a wonderful way to be able to give back to the masses in a way that hopefully has helped you guys, but also, you know, to inspire you as to what is possible. And it's not just about what's possible for yourself and your health, but what's possible for you if you listen to this podcast because you obviously are passionate about health and wellness.
Mhm.
And again, that like us, that started with us going through our own health transformation. And then we ended up turning that into coaching. Then we fell in love with coaching. We fell in love with business. And then that evolved over time, right? So you're here because you have such a passion for it. And we want to show you and inspire you that it is possible for you to open your own business. It is possible for you to do something you love that makes impact and income. You don't have to follow the path that you currently are on. There's always another route you can take. And if our story, just even our business story, our life story, is a little bit of inspiration too, like that means so much. Because at the end of the day, and I also want to say, Amanda, I'm really proud of both of us for showing up every week and doing this podcast.
Yes.
Because that is another thing. I talk about this a lot on the podcast about consistency. And it's so easy, especially in those early days, when you feel like no one is listening. And I want to say this too, so all my aspiring coaches will hear this loud and clear. It is so easy in those early days to feel like, what is the point? Because you're recording stuff, and there's, there might be your mom and your aunt listening, and they probably listen to 3 minutes of it. And then you're like, why should I show up again? But this is another example of the consistency of when you show up week over week, even when you do not want to, even when you feel like you have no energy, you have nothing to give that day, you need a recharge, whatever it is. This podcast has, for us too, we've done that over 500 episodes. We keep showing up. We have not missed a week. Now, there's times where we have actually had to, use an old, like bring back an old recording with a new spin on it, or, we posted one of our masterclass replays. But even then, we had a plan for it. And to me, I'm so proud of us for showing up every week. And I want you guys to use this again as a little bit of a lesson of, if you are consistent with things and you keep showing up, it will eventually grow. It's like your weight loss journey or your fitness journey. If you keep showing up at the gym, you keep going to your fitness class, you keep focusing on your nutrition, it will compound over time and you will get to where you want to go. It just might take a little bit longer than you originally planned, which is usually the way it is for all of us, including us.
Always. It's always just it's about consistency and time and just being patient with the results, because the results will come.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful too. I'm grateful that we showed up, and this is, one of my favorite things to do in our business too, because you're my best friend and I get to chat with you about stuff that we love, and it's cool. Yeah. It's like,
exactly.
It's like fun for us to actually do this, and we enjoy it. And so, and for anyone who is an aspiring coach or aspiring business owner or anything, find the channels that you find fun. Do those things. That's my other lesson to share with you. It's like, we did this we did this because we were like, we don't really love doing social media, but the one thing that we really like doing is sharing knowledge. And
I'm a terrible blogger and I'm a terrible writer. The amount of like grammar emails I get about my grammar and blah, blah. And I'm like, it doesn't matter to me, but I'm a great talker. So I'm like, okay, podcast. I'll never forget. We went to a marketing conference once. It was like a business conference, and they were talking about the different channels to build your audience and to connect with your audience. And we're like, blogging, nope.
Yeah.
YouTube channel, we do post our stuff on YouTube, but really going into vlogging and all that stuff, we're like, nope.
Like 3 times a day, like superstar on YouTube.
Yeah.
Nope.
And following your whole lives around, nope. And then podcasting, we're like, ding, 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 ding. We get to talk and we can record it. And if we don't feel like recording it, people are just listening to us talk. I'm like, sold, done and done.
Yeah. Exactly. So find the channel that works for you to continue to spread that healthy love, to be able to inspire people in the way that works for you. Don't try to fit yourself into some mold that you think you have to. So for anyone who's an aspiring coach, aspiring business owner, just really take that to heart, because we did. And now we're 500 episodes deep. We are so grateful for all of the downloads, all of the listens, all of the shares, and we would love to hear from you. So please leave us a review. Let us know what you thought about the past 500 episodes. Even if you've only listened to one, if you're just new to the episodes, make sure that you share with us, let us know, and we will see you next week for our regular episode of Fit Chicks Chat. Thank you so much. And of course, we have to, everyone listening. Yes.
Thank you. And we also have to wrap it up with, obviously we are going to have 500 more. But if you want to dive deeper into the stuff, please do not forget to check out fitchicksacademy.com. We have all of our certifications listed there. They're open right now for our summer fast track program. Our goal is to help more women really not only lead their own nutrition, but get out there and lead in their communities. And our team is absolutely incredible, and we're waiting to open the doors to you. So check it out, fitchexacademy.com, and we hope to see you also in the academy.
Bye for now, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye.